With more foreign forces on the ground, can authorities reclaim power in Haiti? After 3 months in service, a Kenyan-led mission adds 24 Jamaican troops to its ranks. But gangs still rule huge swathes of the country. Meanwhile, the U.S. is seeking approval for a larger UN peacekeeping mission. But is foreign intervention the best way to restore order and break the back of Haitian gangs? I'm Andrea Sankey, and today's Newsmaker is Haiti. In spite of a transitional government in power, Haitian authorities have failed not only to regain control of the country, but prevent its further descent into gang-driven chaos. As rival armed groups battle for control over territory, the violence has forced nearly 600,000 people to leave their homes, most from the capital, Port-au-Prince. With recent foreign-led efforts to stabilize the nation having little or no impact, there are growing fears the crisis will spiral further out of control. So can Haiti be helped? That debate in a minute, but first, a look at the international efforts to stop a descent into anarchy.
Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, has become a battleground controlled by heavily armed gangs, rendering 80% of the city unsafe and off-limits after dark. The country faces a severe crisis of governance and security exacerbated since the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in 2021. Haiti has since spiraled into chaos, with gangs expanding their control over urban and rural areas alike. This power vacuum has left the population vulnerable and has thwarted efforts to establish stability and security. Gangs like G9, led by former police officer Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier, have taken hold of large portions of Port-au-Prince and other areas, often with more resources and influence than the government or police.
There are important areas. There are strategic places. We in the Regroupement Vivre Ensemble are fighting to reclaim so that they become our territories, which will allow us to win the battle for the ousting of Prime Minister Ariel Henry as quickly as possible. And then we will begin the fight against the system in place to have the country we want. A Haiti with employment for all. A Haiti with security. A Haiti with free education. A Haiti without social discrimination, where all people can achieve the standing they want.
That statement was made in early March. The first objective was achieved the following month when Ariel Henry resigned as Prime Minister due to increasing violence. However, the gang violence hasn't ended or even abated. International efforts to tackle Haiti's crisis include a UN-backed initiative involving foreign law enforcement. A contingent of 400 Kenyan police officers arrived in June, and 24 Jamaican police officers and soldiers arrived in September, with additional forces from countries like Benin and Chad expected to join. Yet, skepticism persists about the effectiveness of these international efforts, particularly in the light of ongoing violence and displacement affecting hundreds of thousands of Haitians. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken visited Haiti in early September, advocating for renewed international engagement. He floated the potential for another UN peacekeeping mission.
The mission itself needs to be renewed, and that's what we're working on right now. But we also want to make sure that we have something that is reliable, that's sustainable, and we'll look at every option to do that. So a peacekeeping operation would be one such option.
However, such a suggestion is contentious in Haiti due to previous controversies. The last UN mission faced both allegations and confirmed instances of misconduct. These included the introduction of cholera to the population and the sexual exploitation of 9 children by at least 134 Sri Lankan peacekeepers from 2004 to 2007. This was revealed in an internal UN report. 114 peacekeepers were sent home, but none were ever imprisoned. For Blinken, Haiti's salvation requires two initial steps. The first is to ensure a solid security foundation, and the second is to put the country back on a democratic track with elections next year.
So, with dark memories of foreign interventions past, how can Haiti shore up security and restore a functional democracy? Well, joining me now to debate that and more are from Port-au-Prince, former Minister of Foreign Affairs and former Haitian ambassador to the U.S., Bocchit Edmond. From New York, Latin America and Caribbean Program Director at International Crisis Group, Renata Segura. And also in Port-au-Prince, former Elections Minister and former candidate for the 2015 Haitian presidential election, Mathias Pierre. Thanks all so much for being with the Ambassador Edmond. You know, many Haitians have obviously been skeptical of having any foreign troops in the country. So now it's been 2.5 months of this Kenyan force being there. Have they been able at all to shift any of the power balance in Haiti?
Unfortunately, no. And this is one of the reasons. This is one of the objectives of that multinational force, to get the blessing of the UN and to be sent to Haiti, and to help the Haitian authorities restore peace and security and prepare the environment for election. But unfortunately, that multinational force, particularly the Kenyans, they have not been able to do anything. The little gains of territory of spaces lost to the gangs that the authorities are recuperating now is due to the help of the national police, but not to the Kenyans, unfortunately. And I believe it's very important. That's one of the reasons I've been advocating for it. It is time to thank for UN peacekeeping operation, because I believe that's one of the way we will get more fundings, and it will be faster. And I can tell you now, it's been a year since that resolution 2699 was adopted. If it was a UN peacekeeping force, the reality on the ground would have been different today. And 1 year after, we would have been on the road to prepare the electoral process and make sure that Haiti goes back to a democratic state again.
But Ambassador, UN peacekeeping missions have been tried before. They failed. And as I opened this segment with, many Haitians have very dark memories of that foreign presence. So why would you think it would work this time? Why would it be different suddenly?
Absolutely, I understand that. And the most important thing is we need to learn from from the past mistakes. Certainly, there were mistakes made, and it's very important for the authorities and the UN to make sure that those mistakes are not repeated again, and to find a way to make sure that they give more results, they be more effective, and try to make sure with the Haitian authorities not to leave any vacuum when they are leaving. Because this is what we are paying today. Because the UN force that was there for 13 years, unfortunately, when they left, it seems that they didn't leave any kind of structure that will help the Haitian National Police to make sure to control or to contain what they achieve. But unfortunately, there was a vacuum, and the gangs took advantage of that. Now they are coming back again, and they came back very strongly.
Okay, Mathias Pierre, I'll ask you. I mean, does a UN peacekeeping mission deserve another try, or, for example, could the Kenyan force and its contributing parties right now being the Jamaicans, Belizeans, a few more forces coming from Africa, if that is boosted, could that potentially work better, or is something on the size with the funding of the UN peacekeeping force the only way?
But I think with the ambassador, we don't have the same view on that matter, particularly. Going back before that mission was authorized, the Security Council was trying to have a peacekeeping mission in Haiti. It fails because Russia and China had vetoed many times because their conclusion were there was no result of the 13 years of minister in Haiti. And again, why is that multinational force fail again? It's failed because they were not able to raise the $660 million a year necessary for this mission to accomplish its mandate. And it's because of that today. The United States are committed some money, $200 million has been disbursed. Canadian eventually 100 million. Only 300 million has been raised for that mission. And because of that, we have 380 Kenyans on ground, and last weekend, 24 Canadian. And added to that, Jamaican, sorry. And added to that, we lost more territories in Haiti to the gang than we gained. From the south all the way to Grecier, which means another commune or city of 400,000 people is now under the control of the gang. In the east, all the way to the border with Dominican Republic in Gatier, that goes beyond to the border with Dominican Republic now. And on the north part, another 3 cities are added to the control of the gang. Okay. So we lost more territory. I don't want to give all the responsibility to the international community, because on our side, our Haitian leaders were incapable of putting together what have been advocated as a presidential commission with Haitian experts added to the international experts to articulate a strategy to resolve the problem. Because it's not only a gang's problems, it's also poor people, poor young people being hired by the gang to create the chaos that we have in today.
Okay, Renata, let me just ask you first if you agree that the situation has indeed not improved through these Kenyan forces or through any international participation for that matter, but is it, as Mathias was just saying, largely a problem of funding? If more money were there, could these international missions better serve Haiti, or is it fundamentally flawed from the beginning?
No, I think Mathias is correct in the diagnosis that really it is the lack of funding and thus the lack of proper amount of people on the ground that has prevented the MSS to really make a difference in the security conditions on the ground. Obviously, it is not exclusively a matter of security. And we have an enormous problem in Haiti, which is the very deep connection between the gangs and some Haitian elites that have for decades fostered these groups to really do their dirty business. So it is not only exclusively a matter of force, but it is significantly at this precise moment what the Haitian National Police needs is an enormous amount of people and also equipment that allows them to come and really, attack the gangs in their strongholds. So for now, I think it is a little bit too soon to say that the MSS has failed, because we're only seeing two contingents of 200 people. We're not even close to the 2,500 people that we were hoping to see, and the proper equipment that is only now arriving to Haiti. Now, will we get there is the question, because it has been really unfortunate that the world has not been able to step up to really fund this mission in the way that it needs, so that we can really have a substantial change in the security situation on the ground.
Okay.
But I think I will add something on the social part. Sorry, if you allow me.
Go ahead.
I understand the social issues are very important, but unfortunately, I don't think now we need to solve the social first. I don't think we need to fight the security situation first, and then work on the social. Because once the military or the forces, once they take over those areas and they control them, they contain it, and then now the government can step in and start any social programs that most of the time they have been failed to give to the population, and the gang leaders took over from the state by giving those services. But now reverse that. Once we take the control, militarily control those areas, and then the social issue, the social service can be addressed, and we move forward to the other steps. Because I agree with Mathias when he mentioned the issue of strategy. Probably that is the lack of strategy. There is an issue here. I agree with that. And because sometimes you tend to believe that there is a vacuum even at the leadership of the MSS. For instance, there is an issue now being raised by Benin. I don't know if you are aware that Benin wanted to send 2,000 troops. But now they say that they don't want to send their troops under police command because they are military. This is an issue.
Yeah.
So it's very important to solve that, to make sure that the Haitian authorities and the UN, and they sit down to say, okay, I understand, and within the multinational force, we can have a military component and a police component. But the police component will be under police leadership, and the military component will be under military leadership. And the Jamaicans, 24 of them arrived, military Jamaicans, but now you put them under the police of Kenya, under the command of police, and it is different. And what we have in Haiti, it's so complex. It's a military thing. If we keep using police strategies without any military plan to address what we are happening, what's happening now, it's a very risky plan, and I don't think that we can succeed.
And Mathias, I mean, all of this is confounded by the fact that the government is in such a weak position. Talk to us, Mathias, about who is actually in charge of the government now. Who makes the, respected decisions when you have a presidential council with 9 members and a prime minister whom you've said yourself don't get along?
No, it's clear that on the government side in Haiti, having what I call a council of 9 presidents, as I predicted, it wouldn't work, and it's not working. As of today, almost 5 months after, not even from the Prime Minister's side, a Secretary of State for Security, not even a Minister of Interior, the Prime Minister, who is a doctor and who's been outside of the country for the past 10+ years, is the Minister of Interior. How do you address a problem on ground when you don't know the ground? And the 9 presidents are fighting one against each other. So we, as Haitians, relegating the problem and the strategy of our security to the foreigners, while the foreigners are lost. And that is exactly why the Secretary of State, because the United States elections approach in November, and in October they have to renew the mission, they know purposely China and Russia will veto that peacekeeping mission. But in order to push the problem forward, that's exactly why the Secretary of State, Blinken, took his plane, landed to Haiti, went to the Haitian leaders. They don't have a plan. He just said, hey, guys, do you need me to transform that mission into a peacekeeping mission? Everybody say yes. So by that, the Secretary of State, the United States, the biggest power in the world, is unable to acknowledge they fail again in Haiti, and what happened? Relegating the problem, pushing the problem back to the Security Council, and you will see in the coming days, Russia and China will veto again a peacekeeping mission, and then wait, by January, a new president in the White House, new figure, new Secretary of State, no strategy. We Haitians has to take responsibility to organize our security, to organize a strategy, to put people together to address the issue of security while we're addressing the election. And the last element that I want to add, just one element to add to conclude. The ambassador said you have to address the poverty issues after. No, in parallel, you need to offer a process of integration. How these young people being recruited by the gangs.
Right.
What do we offer them as job so they could say, okay, we're going to let down our weapon, and then we're going to go for a job that they're offering us. And that
Okay.
alternative has to come with putting down their weapon.
Yeah, Renata, I mean, you've said yourself, the key here is about taking police action against the gangs in their strongholds, and that's not really an operation that the United Nations can help with. Meanwhile, we have, especially when the ambassador was talking about addressing the social contingent of all of this first, the most pivotal gang leader, known as Barbecue, has said they want to restore order to Haiti. They want education and opportunities for Haitians. So, I mean, do people support them? Has the government failed so badly that it actually looks like the gangs are perhaps the lesser evil?
No, I don't think they are, but let me clarify something that Mathias was saying that I think is important in terms of timeline. The MSS, the Multinational Support Security Mission, is going to be renewed in the Security Council next month. It is going to be renewed as it stands right now, not as a peacekeeping mission. The idea of the Americans is to perhaps bring this to the Security Council a year from now. So the immediate task is to make sure that the MSS succeeds. What happens after, if it is replaced by a peacekeeping mission or not, it is a little bit premature to have that conversation right now, because the next year, it is the MSS that is going to be on the ground. And if we have to be very honest, we don't know for sure that the MSS has the resources to be in Haiti until the end of 2025. So that is the first question, and that is why I think the Americans and many others have been very adamant that what we need is really the world to step up to fund that mission. So that on the one hand. On the second question that you asked about the gangs being legitimate, I don't think that we can see the gangs as an insurgency that has a plan for Haiti, to make it better, and that people are supporting them. I think, as Mathias was very well saying, thousands of people in Haiti, young men and girls that have no other choices, are given the option of having a gun, joining these people, putting some money on the table, and having some security for their families. It is not an easy choice, but it is the only choice that they have. And we're hoping that when the MSS really starts moving and going into the strongholds of the Haitian gangs, there will be some exit ramps for so many of these people that are there because they have no choice, but that there will be, if given the opportunity to have a different life, take that opportunity. Yeah. So while I agree with the ambassador that the urgent thing is to really hit the gangs militarily or like in the security way, we also have to offer people who want to leave the gangs the options to have a different life, which will, in a way, help us have the MSS succeed, right? Because we need to make them weaker.
Okay. I mean, Ambassador, though, any of these, even competing strategies, in order to implement, it will take a significant amount of time. And in the meantime, you've mentioned yourself that thousands of children should be starting school in the next few weeks, and probably won't, because there is not enough security. Parents are scared to send their children to school because of the mess that's there. So then what's the alternative? If you don't have children in school, you're talking again about the poverty equation, and they will look to join gangs to get any kind of food on the table for their families, any kind of sense of purpose. Where does this leave Haiti just in the next year if this is not shored up?
Yeah, this is really sad to talk about in 2024. We still talking about kids in Haiti who cannot go back to school. As you rightly mentioned, the first week of October will be our kids would be or should be able to return to school. But unfortunately, I'm not so sure if the security situation and the capital particularly will allow that to happen. But I really wish to see them going back to school because they are the future of this country. It seems to me we are just violating their human rights. The fact that they still cannot go back to school to learn and to make sure that they have a proper education. But at the same time, there is a responsibility of the government and the state to provide security for these kids, to provide security in the street and to make sure that is rightly done. But they cannot alone, because our national police have been trying so hard to do the best they could to bring back security to the street. But unfortunately, it is not happening the way it should have been happening.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons we call for the help of the international community. The MSS arrived here. But unfortunately, it's been 3 months. We have not seen them in the street.
Okay.
Because this is what the people need. They need to see the presence of the police or the presence of the military in the street, strategically placed and very strategic corner of the capital, and to make sure that those people, once they see the presence of the police, of the military, now they can feel secure. And step by step, the government will try to move from the putting security in the street and make sure that every corner that was lost by the government, by the state, is being taken by the national police.
And eventually,
Mathias
hopefully,
said,
maybe that security will
strategy.
lead to an election. Unfortunately, we don't have time to talk about that on this edition, but I'd really like to thank all three of my panelists so much for being with us. Unfortunately, the clock is against us. So thanks to our panelists, our viewers, of course, for joining us as well. Remember, you can follow us on X, and do be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Andrea Sankey. We'll see you next time.